Okay, so today we're here to talk about college and career readiness. Before I begin, I want to set the foundation. This project was actually initiated by University of Cumberland. The research was completed in Jefferson County Public Schools 2013 through 2016. I also have a few acknowledgments that I want to say, hey, thank you for. We have Christy Rogers, the CTE Director, Dan McKenzie, Program Specialist, the Principal of Fairdale High School, Brandon Corbin, System Principal, Marissa Bell, also the technology team, Ellen Smith, Todd Topher, and Pam Coomer. Big thanks to you all for helping me with this entire presentation. Last but not least, I want to thank my professor, which is from the University of Cumberland, Dr. Silberman. So I'm dealing with college and career readiness. The federal level, state legislators, and state school districts have the focus on improvement of preparing more students to pursue college and career readiness. Saying that, we have a big responsibility. We've got to get our students prepared for college and career readiness on day one. Also, looking at Fairdale High School's mission to prepare each student for post-secondary education, which you can see that we have perfect alignment in dealing with college and career readiness. What is college and career readiness? Basically, what we're talking about is meeting benchmarks. We need to meet those benchmarks so that students don't have to take remediation in going into college. And at the same time, as far as the career part goes, they need to become industry certified in meeting those goals. Right here, of course, little chart, real simple. Dealing with college ready, got to pass the ACT, Compass, or the Coyote. That's how you get college ready, of course. Dealing with career academic ready. Now, if you pass the ACT, Compass, or Coyote, you do not have to take the career ready academic. That's dealing with ASVAB or work keys. However, when we try to target those students, we're really focusing on students in the work keys area because we don't have a lot of students going to military. And dealing with the career ready technical piece, that's the COSA, Kentucky Occupational Skills Standard Assessment, or industry certification. So one of those there will get them an extra point, and we want all of our students to become industry certified. Here we're dealing with how do you become college ready? Well, you got to meet the benchmarks. You need a 18 with English, 19 for math, and a 20 for reading. Now, dealing with the Coyote test, you need a 20 in English and a 20 in reading, and also a 22 in math. Now, as you can see, the Compass test will no longer exist after December. So we know that we're going to have a little decrease because we've had so much success in our Compass assessment. So that tells us that we've got to be more intentional, more focused, and more data-driven when it comes to college and career readiness. Are you ready? Kentucky Educational Workforce Development County estimates there are more than 110,000 available jobs in the Commonwealth. The downside of this is that the state lacks enough skilled workers to fill them. So we've got to get our students ready and prepared for college, for careers. Right here shows that GE has invested $1 billion in Louisville. Okay? Since 2010, 3,000 manufacturing jobs have been added. So what that tells us, we've got to get them prepared. If not, we could lose these huge businesses that could be catastrophic to our city. how will we improve college and career readiness? That is the question. ACT found about 90% overlap between the needs of workers and those who attend college, and recommends that all high school students should experience a common academic core that prepares them for the workforce and, of course, for college. Now, there's a correlation with having success with ACT and the workforce. What that means is basically we are giving the students critical thinking skills that's going to help them be successful, not only in their class, but also the workforce. Are we working hard, or are we hardly working? That's something that we asked ourselves about 5 years ago when we became a PLA school. Okay? We were struggling. It wasn't meeting the benchmarks that we needed to. But I think we were still working pretty hard. We just needed to be led in the right direction. Let's look at a little video. So in dealing with that, like I said earlier, we were talking about how Fairdale was a PLA school, persistently low achieving school. And now we rose from the bottom 5% of the state to now 56% now. And it was all because we were now looking at data. We become intentional, we become focused, and we began to develop a collaborative culture. So we were working hard, but we were just working on the wrong thing. So now with that focus, that's how we raised those schools. Literature review. Basically right here, what we're talking about is we begin to develop PLC teams. We begin to develop that collaborative culture. We're looking at common assessments. We had common language, common goals, and we begin to work towards that movement there. And that is what really helped us to create this collaborative culture. We were going forward, we were looking at data, and using that data to drive instructions. The 6 essential characteristics of PLCs. This is what was driving our instruction. There was a common mission, which I've already talked about that. Our vision, we wanted to be one of the premier schools across the nation, leading in education. Then with the goals, all of our goals have to be SMART. And that's something that we became intentional about. We developed a collaborative culture, collective inquiry, action orientation, continuous improvements, and we were focused. Something that we really begin to look at is what do we expect for our students to learn? How do we know they learned it? What did we do if they did not learn it? And what did we do if they did learn it? And then that's what we begin to look at and focus on and direct students into interventions and enrichment from those questions. And again, this is what drove our instruction. A big idea. As we analyze data, we can learn valuable information about the effectiveness of the educational programs we offer our students. Data can be used to help target specific areas of strength in the instructional program, as well as areas that may need improvement. So, not only are we looking at data to help kids to get better, we're looking at data systemically. So there's different programs or things that may not be working, and terminate those things. Again, it's all according to data. Data sources is college career ready data, so the state level, district level, and the local school. Data source, learning walkthroughs. For the last 3 years, we've been averaging about 4,000 walkthroughs each year. And we implemented the Fundamental 5, which has caused a huge success for Credell High School. We gradually rolled this out. We concentrated on 2 components. That was lesson frame and power zone. I think those were the easiest to implement right at the beginning, and we experienced a lot of success. Now, dealing with our lesson framing, we made sure that all of our teachers have the learning target and closing listed. We wasn't too I guess, hard on the teachers in dealing with what's on there at the beginning. So we were looking at comprehension and understanding. That's okay. And then later we begin to move to application. We like to move now to hit more of creating, evaluation, analysis, and synthesis. Next, we're looking at critical writing. We see that throughout the entire lesson. It might be in the bell ringer. It may be right in the middle of the lesson. It might be in the closing. But however, wherever it is, we know that learning is taking place. Recognition, positive reinforcement. Just think about your best teacher. They created an environment about learning. An environment that they would show that they care about you. They would provide recognition and positive reinforcement. And that is a big strategy to help improve learning. Learning is no more about just sitting and getting. It's about doing. It's about student engagement. So with frequent small purposeful talks, we actually have more student engagement. And the 5th one, of course, is dealing with power zone, where the teachers are assessing, monitoring, observing, asking probing questions, asking guided questions. Again, they're just enhancing the total environment by being in the power zone. So because of this implementation here, we began to increase our college and career readiness. Data source, data-wise. The data inventory provides a summary of all the types of data that are available in your school. Regularly update your inventory and make it available electronically. You can ensure that it becomes a living document. And basically, this slide right here, that's what this is here. If we look at, I'm not sure if you can read it, we have the yellow squares with the 1, that means one of the students, or actually the students had received 1 benchmark. There's a yellow sign with 2 in it. Of course, they received 2 benchmarks, and the green with the 3 means they are college ready. To your right, we have preparatory. Now, we want all of our students by the end of their sophomore year to take 3 credits, to get the 3 credits, and become preparatory. So that's the goal. By the end of the sophomore year, every single student preparatory. So they leave the exploratory and go to preparatory. This right here is dealing with college career readiness. It has a comparison of Kentucky and the nation. English, reading, math, and science, and as you can see, that we are lacking in every single area. In 2010, we actually had an increase of test takers, 6.7%, but we decreased in graduation. Why did that happen? And again, it's just about the intentionality data, developing that collaborative culture, and that benchmark culture. Next data source, different ethnic groups. Here, and this was in 2013, 2014. What really stands out is still with the Asian. They have which is the highest ethnic group, 55% in reading, 63% in English and math. Now we all know that socioeconomics, there's a correlation with student achievement and socioeconomics. Let's look right there at the bottom, low income. 34% in reading, 42% in English, and 30% in math. Now, what is alarming with this data, if we look at the ethnic group of the Black group, there is 24% in reading, 31% in English, and 22% in math. Now, that's lower than the low-income category. Why did that happen? I think that's something that we really, again, got to be intentional about. Let's look at cultural competency. Maybe providing mentors. Definitely, we've got to be more intentional to close that group and lower disproportionalities. Data analysis for district-wide college career ratings. We have 5,816 seniors across the district, JCPS. 297 college career students. College only, 1,554. And career only, 15. Dismal stats rate, 0.3%. And you will see, actually on my next slide, it kind of correlates with Fairdale High School. We are a little low in dealing with our career rating. In 2013, 2014, we have 17 students. That's career rating. 2014, 2015, we have 31 students. And 2015, 2016, we had 38 students. So let's look at, let's look at 2013, 2014, that was both college and career ready. We have 11 students. 2014, 2015, we have 33 students. And 2015, 2016, we have 49 students. So even though our numbers are a little low, we begin to see a gradual increase, which is right there. Right here, we're dealing with our college and career rating percentage from 2013 to 2016. These are students that are either college rated, career rated, or college and career rated. We actually have in this area at 55% of them that met that category. Okay, here we're looking at the total students that are college and career ready. From 2013 to 2014, we have 115 students. 14-15, 131, and 15-16, 132. This part right here, we're just looking at the percentage. We're looking at 13-14 at 50%, 14-15 at 57%, 15-16 at 58%. So, again, we've seen a progression, but it's starting to level off. Action on getting points. What are we trying to do here? Or what do we need to do? We need to identify the deficiencies, track the students, know them by name, give them the help and support they need to be successful. We've got to meet the needs of each and every student. We have embedded interventions within our schedule so that we can track and that we can provide help and support for math, science, and reading and advisory classes. And it's all about providing the RTI Tiers 1, 2, and 3. A few years ago, we started Flex. Of course, right now, we're standard-based on our core subjects. And for any student that did not meet the standards, we then put it into intervention and enrichment, which we did pretty good. But now we're going into our RISE intervention, which we are really, really excited about that. RISE deals with recovery, intervention, scholastics, and enrichment. Right now, we're about 24%, which some say may not be good. However, if we can move 240 students to comprehension, to proficiency, that is great. That is phenomenal. So we're going to keep pressing through with that and keep looking at data. And of course here, this is just the point system. You get 1 point for college ready. Deal with K-Prep, you get 1 point for career ready. 1 point for career ready. And 1.5 for college and career ready. The big thing about this, we want every single student that to be industry certified. Actions. Of course, we have a line curriculum. We work really good right now. We just want to tighten it up and deal with our PLCs, looking at the cognitive assessments and giving the formative assessments, as well as summative. Looking at the data, using the drive instructions. I've already talked about develop collaborative culture, interventions enrichments, and a benchmark culture. This is the next thing that we're really looking at, dealing with our talent academies. So this is our direction that we're going into now. Dealing with the talent academies, first we'll have the freshman academy. We'll have the principal and the counselor there. The next one, again, we'll have the principal and the counselor, and that will deal with Cambridge. Probably won't do the accounting. We're going to have web page and computer programming for this part. Something that we're going to improve on is develop a pathway for our Cambridge, which is our most intelligent group that's in the school. Now before, we really didn't have a pathway for them because we didn't have a lot of Cambridge students going to EMT, fire, or heavy equipment. So now we're thinking that we're going to have a lot of students on this pathway to success because it's something that is more meaningful to them. In Academy 2, we have the EMT, fire science, pre-nursing, something that we're really looking into, law enforcement, and also we'll have teaching as well. Academy 3, we have heavy equipment, manufacturing, and we'll also add diesel tech to that part there. Now, why we'll have so much success in dealing with this? Because we're going to create a small learning community. Again, each particular academy will have a principal, a counselor, and a CTE teacher, as well as their core content subjects. So we're going to know them by name. We're going to know where they are. We're going to know their goals. We're going to be able to meet their needs. Action, again, just like we developed that common language years ago in dealing with standard-based grading and proficiency. We've got to do the same thing with the talent academies. We have to have that common language. We've got to be able to track it. We've got to hold them accountable. The teachers are held accountable. Administration is held accountable. And again, if we keep doing that, we're going to produce an effective outcome. And of course, we always want to make connections with parents and guardians. In dealing with this, everything's going to be project-based. Have project-based learning. When we can create this, we'll create a visceral experience by implementing this. More students are going to be active. It's going to decrease our passive teaching methods and increase our participatory teaching methods. And if you look at the bottom, more students will retain more information. And that occurs. Why talent academies? Why? Well, look at the results here in Nashville, 2006. Their attendance started at 89%, and it went up to 93% in 2014. That's huge. Right now, Jefferson County is at 87%, and Fairfield High School is about 88, 89%. Fewer disciplines, 11,000 fewer discipline problems. It's huge. State accountability results that went up in English, 14%. Algebra 1, 19%. Algebra 2, 12%. And Biology 1, 9.2%. That's huge. What is the conclusion? The data brought our attention to talent academies. A variety of instructional practices impact learning and impacts college and career learning and career readiness. PLC's data, embedded interventions impact learning. And of course, I've already talked about how we need data, and we use it to drive instruction. We have the accountability and learning blocks, collaborative culture, and also we implement coaching, which is also very important. Now, the technical change is not the silver bullet. I think what's really important is always develop that positive culture. We've had several schools here that try to emulate what we're doing, and they were not successful because they didn't have the cultural piece in place. Capstone published results comparison. Capstone project has been made valid because attendance increased, suspension decreased, student engagement increased, a desired culture was created, and more students met the benchmark. We have to be data-driven to improve systems so that we can make a strategic plan that effectively help stakeholders experience success and meet benchmarks. Future research, we're just going to keep monitoring and enhancing RISE. Whatever need that the students have, we're going to meet that need and continue to grow. Future recommendations, conduct studies with successful implementation of talent academies, visit schools with similar demographics, and observe successful strategic plans. And here's something to think about. We could actually have a career exploration fair, our academy showcase, right during freshman registration. Why? Because we would be able to take advantage of the day where we have the most parents in our school. This concludes my presentation. Any questions? Thank you all.